Hello and Happy New Year to you all. This is a great day to be alive, and we are very grateful to you for tuning in. We will be looking at some issues today that are affecting our local and our international partnership with Liberia and the UN and the United States. And we're going to be talking to politics, how these things affect us. How does it affect the country? How will it affect our political landscape? On this day, we have selected three particular topics that we are going to be discussing. I know we are asking you to be a partner, to comment, to call, be a participant. In this new year, we are looking forward to having a vibrant conversation with you as it relates to issues affecting our country, our nation, and the pending 2023 elections. Today, we are going to begin with the first topic of the three, the arrest of Alexander Benedict Cummings and its political implications on our Liberian landscape. Number two, we're going to be talking about the purported leak messages suggesting conspiracy against Alexander Cummings. Who are behind the leak conversations? Who are the partners? Who are the major players? And then finally, we are going to be talking about the Solicitor General, Mr. Cephus. Is the Solicitor General, Councilor Cyrennius Cephus, proceeding well? Is he doing the bidding for a particular party? Is he doing his work as prescribed by his job description or the Constitution of Liberia? Is he a part and parcel of this so-called conspiracy? With me today is my partner and highly intelligent, opinionated, Mr. George Tule of Canada. George, how you doing? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to those who are, our support in this show. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's a privilege to have you guys again with us. And Happy New Year to Focus on Liberia, everyone, all the presenters, all the uncles, everyone, the CEO and everyone else. My good friend and brother, Anthony C.A., Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. These things that the topics we're going to be looking into today are trending, and they are very important, and we need to look into it. What we want to also state here is this is an opinion show. All right. You listen to us. You can take what we say or you don't take it. But it's a place where we believe in our credibility. We want to discuss issues and we want to speak to the fact, because in everything we do and say, Liberia first.
Thank you very much. And as Mr. Tule just said, your opinion also counts. So what you say and what you write here, we take it seriously. This is where we meet to exchange ideas. Nobody has an exclusive monopoly on ideas. You have yours, and we ask that you be a participant. Share the show. Come on, let's discuss. Mr. Tule, let's start with the first issue here, and it's a very serious one. If you are a history of Liberian politics from the Bagleys to as far back as Charlie King's days, political oppositions have always been targeted in various ways. And the most recent one that you and I, maybe prior to the 1980 coup, we talk about President Tubman and everybody else that he perceived as the enemy. And what comes to mind are the Tubman versus the Colemans. As a student of history, your parents may have told you, you have read about how the Colemans were tracked down like dogs and shot. And President Tubman addressed the nation, told the nation that these people were basically terrorists. They were domestic terrorists. And they were about to get him, and he got him first. So in essence, it was basically in self-defense that the frontier force or the Liberian Federation or whatever the army was tracked him down, and they did due diligence according to him, that they did what was honorable to defend the image of the state and the head of state. And the Colemans were gunned down and killed. Here we are. This have not reached that level, but some are saying this is a conspiracy of a man who they think has the potential to take down a a group of folks in the CPP, and some are thinking that after the lead, he destroys the CPP, then he may turn his big guns of cash on the present administration. This we are not saying that these are facts. These are conversations that we have been having. These are conversations in the different chat rooms. So, Mr. Tule, talk to me here. How is this affecting our politics? This is not, I am not interviewing you because I got my own counter to what you know. I support the government, and all of these things that they are saying are absolutely false.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Gimmon, this thing is funny in many ways. Let me start by saying this. All right. The last election, Cummings came onto the scene and did what he could do. He came fifth, right? I've always said that he has no fixed or political constituency, and I said that even in Maryland County, George Weah would beat him there if they had a one-on-one, or even if he went to Corner West in Newtown, Purple Beach, George Weah would beat him there where the Gribbles are, assembled, where they live in that congested space. And something funny, and okay, so we come to this place where the CPP is assembled. I was against one thing in the CPP framework where the political parties agreed that each political figure, political leader, who will be able to canvass the other's camp for votes. I think that was idiotic. It made no sense to me. And it gave room to where we are today, because it clearly states that you don't have to love me based on my ideology, what I believe, my vision, and everything. All right. You don't have to love me because of those things. All you have to do is follow me if I can give you money. And you know, Liberia, how fickle-minded Liberians are, including you and myself sometimes. We are able to sell ourselves out just for the tiniest amount of inducement, cash inducement. Okay, so in the CPP, Cummings is part of the CPP. Generally, in the CPP, like in the Liberty Party today, you have 18 members, 17 members of the executive committee and Musa Ability supporting Cummings. The general body policy of Liberty Party, if you ask who they support, they will tell you they support Joseph Boakai. It's as simple as that. The funny thing, when he had that, the last NIBA convention he had in Cllr or wherever he had it, if you look, they were afraid to show the entire hall. So they only showed just a cross section of the people because no one was there. It wasn't really a Liberty Party thing. Let me fast forward quickly. So Cummings knew that ALP, Ure and his people wanted to support Boakai. The Boakai Liberty Party, including, except if Bronski was alive, the story would have been different. But with the absence of Bronski being, may God rest his soul, the whole thing went in a way that Cummings was the outsider looking in. So how would he do it? So his people are raising money. So, and then he has Madame Machiavelli Salif on his side. So they start using cash inducements to buy influence within other political parties. Now, listen, they tinkered with the framework document. Was it substantive? If you ask me, I would tell you no. It wasn't. The tinkering for me wasn't very substantive. But what is happening now, and why Benedict Cummings is standing up? Because what Cummings is doing and Bilete with Madame Salif is reprehensible politically. They are not selling political ideology to get support. They are not selling a vision to get support. What they are doing, they are showing chaos in other political arrangements through cash inducements. And now I will say this to you before I let you come in. After they done wrecking the CPP, they went into, you know what happened with ALP? They got people in ALP to surrender. All that travel, you see Cummings traveling, he goes and meet these people and offers them cash inducements. So after they've done with Liberty Party and the ALP, Unity Party was next. The thing they fail to realize is that Unity Party is set. They are all behind one person, Joseph Boakai. So When they are done with all of this project in the CPP, you think where else they are going next? They are going again. They are going after that coalition, that the ruling coalition. They will hit MPP. They will hit Niba Kante, Prince Johnson people, and they will hit Alex Tyler people. Because trust me, Alex Tyler doesn't have money to be bankrolling his people like this. So Cummings will come in. Think about it. A man who is struggling to make $200 or $300 a month, if you offer him $2,500 and say, I'm going to offer you more, what do you think he would do? He would flip. So the government needs to stand up against this. Are they supporting? Were they the ones that told URA to bring the case? No. But when they allow URA's case to stand and support the case, they should. They should allow the case to go run its natural course. The government does not need to do anything to this case. The case is in the courts. Let the case run its natural course. The reason why Europe, Cummings people are reaching to the people in America and all of that is because they know. They know. You know, Mr. Gimmer, let me say this to you. You remember recently, Liberty Party went and got an injunction against Benedict Convention. Before the day was over, the thing was turned. The court, I don't know how they did it. They issued a new order banning the state order. Everyone, Cummings people were on Facebook cheering. Then again, the next decision they were cheering. Why don't they cheer the court's decision today? Our judiciary is independent. Our judiciary is dependable. If what is good for the goose should be good for the gander. Come in, sir. I've said my point.
Well, you know, I'm looking at what you are saying here, and I'm saying here to myself, Cummings is being brought into court for being basically for forgery. He first, according to Mr. Cummings, according to Uri, his signature was forged, not in anything else, but in the exit, which is basically synonymous with the Brexit, leaving the CPP basically a crime.
Yeah.
So this, according to him, by doing that, by basically tying everybody to him, because he have said it, he will never leave.
Yes.
And if he's not leaving, nobody else should leave. Knowing very well that when he becomes the chair of the CPP, everybody else has to bow to him.
Yes.
So then the folks, the Euro folks, who basically have no following. If you counted the Euro followers, there wouldn't be more than 45. But also he has money. So what does he do? He uses himself as the sacrificial lamb to gain all the PR attention, to say now that he's the hero fighting for the cause of justice.
Yeah.
So someone text me here and say, if the government behind what is happening is the government conniving with Uri to persecute Cummings. Even if the government wanted to do that, the government did not have to do anything else but follow the law.
Yes.
And the law says whenever a crime or allegation of crime in the criminal system, the government has the prerogative, it is the responsibility of the state. Because once you commit a crime in the republic, like in the United States, if you commit a crime, you have committed a crime against the state. And the state has to prosecute. So this is where the government of Liberia comes in. Someone comes and says to you, George Cllr forged my signature at a bank or at a major concession agreement.
It's a crime.
That's a major crime. So what the government does is, well, we don't believe what you are saying. We will never know. How can we do that? We got to put it through the process.
Agreed.
So yes, the government, those of you who want to know whether the government is part of this case, yes, the government is part of the case. Okay? By an extension, when a crime is committed in Liberia, any crime anywhere in the Republic of Liberia is under the jurisdiction of the government. When a crime is committed, the government is the prosecutor. Period.
Mr. Gaiman, can I come in quickly?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me just make this clarification here. It's not a private case. all right, is not a private case. It's a felony under our laws. That is the reason why it's not a civil case. It's a criminal case. That's the reason why a writ of arrest was issued. If it was a civil case, it would be a summons. Okay, you can discuss this thing in civil court, but it's a criminal case under our law, and as a result of that, the steps that are taken in a criminal case is different. And if it's a criminal case, the people who prosecute criminal cases is the government lawyer, the Ministry of Justice, prosecute criminal cases in Liberia. You cannot have the plaintiff's lawyer prosecuting a criminal case in court. The plaintiff lawyer can come in the court and maybe even help in the prosecution in the development of the case. But it's the prosecution is the government's lawyers that prosecute criminal cases in Liberia. So are you saying a case that goes to the Justice Ministry, a felony case? Because like you said, the allegation is forgery. Forgery under the law is a felony. It's fraud. It's a felony. Okay, so in other words, URA is alleging that this guy forged my signature. I did not agree to this provision, and because he put the provision in it, he forged my signature so that the provision can stand. Like you said, tying us to him if he wins it, obviously. So I've been wondering from the beginning, what was the play? What was at play here, Mr. Gibman? What was Cummings depending on? So because I knew he did not have a fixed constituency. I knew that even if you did a poll in Liberia of the real voters, you will find out, and everyone who knows politics will tell you the reality here, that the people out there, they are waiting to vote for Joseph Boakai, if not George Weah, not Cummings. Cummings' crowd is very small. Even up to now, all the noise that has been made is very small. So what was Cummings' trump card? What was he depending on going into the CPP framework? The arrangement. When we all said, I spoke with some of the Cummings people, look, my man, it would be good if Cummings went as vice president. Being young, he will have an opportunity to be 18 years in executive and all of that. And they said, no. We'll let it play out. What were they depending on? They were depending on using cash inducements to buy influence in other political. Look, that thing for me is reprehensible. It speaks of the lack of integrity. You're not running your campaign based on, and guess what? You may do damage in the CPP, but you will not do damage out there with the Liberian people because you don't have money to buy votes all over the place. You don't have money to buy those votes. And guess what? The Liberian people see that process of you trying to buy influence as something that they stand against. They will eat your money, they will vote against you. You may be able to buy executive committees in different parties to support you, but that thing won't fly out there in the public. It won't. So what was their play? So the play is just I don't know these guys. Okay. And the funny thing about it, Mr. Before you come in quickly, the funny thing about it, all these guys, majority of them, we all stood together against Manaseli for excesses for years. We challenged them, we spoke against them and everything. Even the last election, we all were on the same team. Today, many of us are enemies with them because we say we don't want Cummings. And we don't want Cummings not because, like I always say, Cummings is a bad market. You can't sell it because the Liberian people will not buy it.
Well, while we are talking about what this has to do with our political landscape, let's look at the sanction against Senator Prince Johnson. The crux of that sanction was that Prince Johnson was known or notorious for buying votes, using cash violence to buy or to pledge his support to the highest bidder. So what is the distinction here between what Mr. Cummings is doing when you talk about the amount of cash violence that he has levied against the Liberian folks, especially those within the CPP, and the one that he's willing to do even more to accomplish his aim? What does this say about him at the same level of what, in fact, between him and Prince Johnson? Can you tell me the distinction here? We are talking about the United States government that they are lobbying to do things about the rule of law and all of that in Liberia. What does this say about Cummings and his political calculus when it comes to buying vote or spending, making cash violence against that?
Mr. Gaiman, the reality is Cummings is not his own man. Cummings is not his own man. Cummings is a stooge right now, Madame Salif. Cummings is playing directly to Madame Salif's playbook. Cummings did not do this thing in the last election. He did. That wasn't his play. Somehow he's listening to her. He's agreed that he will be her lackey, that she will promote him until she get him into the presidency. That's what she promised him. You can see that she's doing it because, like I said to you, I've received calls from people, not just I'm talking about people, just ordinary people, and I've had conversations with people, and I can tell you, this woman is doing everything in her power to ensure that two things: Joseph Burger doesn't become president, and that Cummings become president because she has lost her control of the weird crowd. They cut down Benedict Cummings a long time ago. She doesn't have that. She doesn't even have the direct line to him again, where she can just call him and he shows up. Maggie and Tua cut that thing a long time ago. So she's looking to control the political destiny of Liberia. All right, she had 12 years where she messed up. She misused the opportunities that she had, that God gave her, people, the goodwill, international goodwill. And she's still in our body politic, twisting things around, trying to mess up things to make sure that Liberia doesn't go the way it wants, that it's supposed to go, that our country will be something that we can be proud of. Look, people, Mr. Gaiman, people spending 2 hours in traffic from Tinker's Village to Iyedebe Junction. And nobody wakes up and say, how can we remedy the situation pronto? By building, even it's just 10 miles, all the major access routes into the city. That means the road from Red Light going, the road from 11 Junction going all the way through Red Light, or you got at least 20 miles dual carriage, 10 miles on this side, or maybe another, we can increase it more than that. Maybe 20 miles towards the airport and 20 miles towards Broadville. It's a no-brainer. It's so important right now. It's so crucial right now, but nobody's thinking about it. Okay, if any government wise will stop every project across the country and bring all resources to the major city to alleviate this issue, nobody thinks about it. Why? We have these problems that are, and now you see why? Let me tell you, instead of us looking at these issues that we need to resolve, we are all bent on these crazy political discussions every weekend. Every week. And I'll be honest with you, Cummings, following Madame Salif, he's not selling his ideology. He's not speaking to issues the way he's supposed to speak to issues because he's listening. Oh, and she's raising money for him. That's the reality. She's raising money for him, and he's raising money for himself also. So he's going to have a large war chest that he's going to challenge even the ruling party by buying the members. If not, I heard, I wasn't there. I don't know that. The time the chairman of the ruling party spent in America, he had some interactions with Cummings. He was there at his benefit and at his largesse. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I hear that CDC is trying to have something to remove him, a vote or election or whatever, to remove him and find a new chair because they want to protect the integrity of the party. This is not politics, man. It's not even done in America where people have billions that you just go and buy other people from other political parties because you have a large. Even Trump did not do it. They operate on ideological basis, not on cash basis. Your cash, yes, you can go after the larger true arts and other things, the larger voting public, but not the core to got the core of your opponents. It's wrong, man.
What's about those who are saying, well, the likes of Thule and other supporters of the worker camp are not ganging up on Cummings because all of a sudden the worker supporters are now the biggest cheerleaders of the Liberian government or the WIA administration to persecute Cummings because they know very well that if Cummings is found guilty, okay, of forgery in Liberia, it is a crime that will preclude you from being member of or being on the ticket.
Yeah.
The Elections Commission, by law, constitutional law, you cannot be on any ballot as a felon, a la Samukai.
Yeah.
So they are saying the toolists of the world and everybody else, they are now praising the George Weah government. They are now praising the CDC government. They are now praising the judicial system in Liberia to go after this man and prosecute this case to the, as they call it, saying Liberia, to its logical conclusion. So instead of the Boyka force speaking out and saying, listen, this is like a town trap. It is for Cummings today, but it could be later on for me or for anybody else. Instead of him saying that, he being very quiet. Joseph Boyka being very, very quiet and watching this whole game play on. And most likely, if Ure takes down Cummings by hook or by crook, he would be the better beneficiary for this whole fight. So he has been very, very quiet. So here we are. We have Elliot. I mean, we are talking about maybe now that Ure now is basically a surrogate who is throwing a water net to grab anything, any tentacle, anything out there to rescue Boyka, because Boyka, according to some, is behind, and he doesn't have the war chest, like you say. He doesn't have the finances to actually compete with Cummings. So Joseph Boyka and the likes of Thule and the co-stars and all of you guys will rally around whoever can bring down Cummings. What says you about this, though?
Let me say this, big brother. It's a fact that Cummings has a large war chest, and that he's using it in the most reprehensible, disgusting way. But I just recently I was telling the same Cummings people, they were here happy that the government, two things. NEC said, hey, as far as we're concerned, the 2021 Constitutional Liberty Party is what we recognize for now. The 2015 Liberty Party stuff, we don't until after setting investigation, whatever, that is not acceptable by us right now. Why? Because it was within the government's purview. The government too part of the thing, and then they're not part of it. Let me break it down. the Cummings train, Musa Belete has been going to the government, working on behalf of the government on the Cummings train to disrupt the CPP. It benefits the government on that side. Okay, so the case goes to NEC. NEC issues a ruling pronto, right away, after Yombly has a press conference. Right away, NEC issues a ruling, even though the chair of NEC is not on seat, but she's not on seat, so her deputy issues a ruling and countermanding everything Yombly said in her press conference. All right, and they were here loudly in the government's effort. NEC was doing the right thing. NEC was doing her job, and I reminded them on Facebook. I said, "Tantra not for right and low." We haven't even gone 2 months yet since that time to now. So okay, let's come forward a little bit. Then Benedict said he was going to have a show in Niba County. Before they could go to the show, Liberty Party goes to court and gets a prohibition, stay order against that move. Within no time, Benedict and his people go to the same court, come out with another ruling countermanding the previous one, allowing their stuff to go ahead. And it happened after normal court hours on a Friday. Just know that one. It happened on normal court hours on a Friday. On a Friday or Saturday. I can't remember when, I think, but it was after normal court hours. All right. They were here happy that the court was doing things so that Benedict would go to Nima County with a handful of people and declare Liberty Party support for Cummings. All the Cummings people were here. They were clapping that the government was doing the right thing. Now when the government is still allowing a case brought by somebody alleging fraud to go ahead, they're accusing the government of backing one party against the other. No, you don't have that right. You don't have the right. You don't have the right. I mean, if the government ruled in your favor previously and now they're allowing a case to go through its logical conclusion, and you don't have the right to come and say now that the government is not doing the right thing, because the government ruled in your favor in 2 cases previously, not too long ago. So you got to let this thing play out. That's just the reality. They must let this thing play out. The government is not a party to this. Let me just say this. The ruling party is not a party to this. But by law, the government prosecutes this. And the government has a statutory responsibility to the people of Liberia to make sure that every felony case brought is before the courts are seen through to the logical conclusion. So that will happen, and there is nothing common sense people can do to stop it from happening.
Well,
I even said to you, except Cummings is some big. I will leave that one for now. We'll talk about it later.
well, let's segue into the next piece, which actually ties into this. The arrest of Cummings and the prosecution of Cummings, the pending prosecution of Cummings in the court of law in Liberia, have triggered certain wave on the lobbying scene. One of the lobbyists that work for the Cummings group have created this facade to scare the government of Liberia into either dropping the case or finding this guy not guilty. And if you look at the email, the correspondence, and the conversation between members of the CPP, the COP, in their chat room, you could see that any reasonable person can see that somebody is trying to get Alex Cummings off the hook. Because when I look at the email and I read the conversation, for a lobbyist to keep saying the arrest of Cummings may not go down well, or some people in high places, when you just throw out words and things that don't make sense, and saying, in fact, you really have to be careful because we have a dossier on him, and his daughter and sanction may be coming in if they continue on this. So anybody can see this. So then when you look on the other side, the conversation between this Yobo and Mr. Costa here, going back and forth, unbeknownst to Costa, little did he know that this guy was still in the COP chat room, and he was basically eavesdropping on his conversation, and he was shocked to find out, why are you still here? But the conversation is that, listen, this is who you guys are, this is what you have done, and we have caught you. You are actually a double agent. You are working for the CPP. At the same time, you are an agent of McGill. You are actually being paid or getting some largesse from McGill while you are advocating for the CPP. So here you are, you have been exposed. So here we are with all of these things, and it boils down to where we are about the conspiracy and the network and the web of actors and characters within what's happening in Liberia. What does this do for the coming? We are talking about election in what, 18 months, 19 months? When will this thing end? When will we begin? Yes.
Mr. Gaiman, it's going to get worse. Trust me. Because the 2023 election is a very, 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 very consequential election in our country. We either choose a new direction or we stay with the old order. The old order means the government that has been in power for 6 years. It's very, very important because I'll be honest with you, all these things that are going on, the voting public sees it from a different perspective. Now, you ask a very important question. There are people, like I said, anything Madam Salif is for gets traction. Will it get traction with the voters? I don't think so, because even her son, she couldn't get her son elected as senator of Montserrat County, being an incumbent. He being the advisor, senior advisor to the president of the Republic of Liberia. He could not get himself elected with all the money, building facilities, toilets, and things around Montserrat, meeting with people, opening a football team, and all that. He could not get himself elected as senator of Montserrat County. it goes to tell you that the people, the voters in Monterey County, they are people of their own mind or minds. In this situation, in this particular thing we're talking about, Madam Salif is trying to get now. Let me say this before I come to Madam Salif. The Costa McGill issue. The enemy of your enemy. I mean, no, what I would say, the enemy of my enemy is my what?
Friend.
Is my friend.
That's correct.
In this situation, even think about it. The moment you brought this case and I sat with people call me and we talked, and I realized that the summation that they have made, they have come to the conclusion that if this stream that is getting, or this cash stream buying influence in political parties across Liberia, if this stream is not stopped, it's going to come after our coalition. So guess what? What do we do? How can we help? We don't have to show our face. The CDC doesn't have to show their faces. They don't have to act in any kind of way. Don't forget, they are the powers that be in the country. So they will allow the case to come to a logical conclusion. Is the case going to be a jury case? I pray that the only hope that this guy has is to make this case a jury case. But if he stays before any lawyer in the Republic of Liberia, he will be found guilty. So whatever the conversation between Moloba Yogbo and Costa is, for me, it's all those things are just theater. All right, they are inconsequential. The reality here is Cummings is going to go through some things in Liberia, and there is nothing any of his people can do about it. The only way it will change, trust me, except maybe an official communique comes from the office of maybe the vice president of the United States of America or the president of the United States of America, cautioning the government and saying, hey, we want you guys to withdraw this case. Then we ask the government of the United States of America, are you people the arbiter of justice, or are you people there for injustice and the lack of the rule of law? That's the question we ask them. So the rule of law is going to run its logical course in this situation. Moba Yoruba was in that chat room, and if he wasn't anymore, he shouldn't have been there. Then he was eavesdropping. I would say it that way. And whatever happened between he and Costa, for me, I don't normally give those things traction. I'm just looking at the case. Cummings is going to go through some things, and there's nothing his people can do about it, because guess what? He is running a campaign not on ideological grounds. He's not espousing his vision for Liberia to get people to follow him. He's using cash inducements. And for me, that is reprehensible. That's what I want to say regarding that particular point.
Well, let's look at, I hate to do this, but I have to, because that's what the show calls for. Here I am Mr. Cummings. And the ANC, and the young man is everybody, every candidate, whether it is Republican or Democrat, you play, or in soccer or in basketball, you play to your strength. What is your strength? The CDC's strength is we are the party of the masses. The strength of the Unity Party is we are a party of elderly statesmen that are wise and experienced. You have the two divides. Then you come to the newcomer, which is Mr. Cummings, flamboyant, successful, has wealth, has influence, even where there are none, he can manufacture one. Why are you against a man who have earned his rights? His tears, his blood, his sweat. Why wouldn't he use that leverage, his strength, okay, of resources? Why shouldn't he use it when the Unity Party and Waka people are using the strength for being elderly statesmen, being government, and the CDC are saying we are the party of the masses? If they have all of these, and my strength is being blessed with capital, with the resources, why shouldn't I use my trump card to get what I want?
Yeah, but Mr. Gamer, it works in the political, by few persons, right? Influence, like we see in Liberty Party. All they had to do was to subvert a few, subjugate through cash. of just 17 persons out of 31. That's all they needed. They don't need anything more than that to get because it's the vote by majority in the how you call it, the executive committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may work in these situations where you have few persons, you pay them money and they say, oh, we don't want to be part of the party again. They sign a communique and say, oh, a communication or press release, we don't want to be in the party anymore. It works in the situation. Does it work across the country? Mr. Gibman, I'm telling you today, it doesn't work.
So, but if it doesn't work, why take him to court? Why try to take him down? If you know he's going to lose anyway, why take him down?
He's creating chaos. Mr. Gibman, he's creating chaos. The political calculus that he's using is foul. It's reprehensible. Okay? It's not acceptable. It doesn't happen in any country. Any country. This is the first time I'm seeing this. This thing you try in other countries, you'll go to war. There will be violence. I'm telling you. They will attack you. There will be the loss of life. If the PDP in Nigeria did that with the ANC and the APP or other political parties try to use inducements, they will counter it through different means. People will lose their lives. I'm telling you, you don't do it. It's wrong. It is wrong. You build your own political. There are enough people out there. Give your people, their friends, people. If you will convince somebody, let it be based on ideological grounds. Don't start using inducements. It's wrong because he's creating chaos in the political organizations, not with the voter populace. But guess what? At the end of the day, it makes these people look bad. You think that thing that happened with Ure, it's good? Where people from the county leadership sign a document say it reflects bad on the person. So the man will fight the way he knows how, and he will take you to court. Because maybe he knew that thing existed, but he decided he was going to leave it. And now you push the thing to the point that you touch his pride. So he stands up for himself. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with Cummings is he's not building a political party. And guess what? Cummings has enough people that he can build a very strong political party and go and canvass and get votes. No, he must destroy other political parties. Look at what he did with Liberty Party, True Ability. What he did to the legacy of Charles Bromsky, True Ability. Okay? You think you expect people to stand for that forever? No. Yes, he has cash, but guess what? He's supposed to spend his cash on the voting populace, not in the political structures of other parties. It's wrong, Mr. Gaiman. There is no way we can countenance this and say this is the right thing to do politically. And that's what he's doing. I know you saw that you heard Elder Jala. A friend of mine, I encouraged this guy, brought him to Liberty Party. Okay? Now, because many of us are not around, and even when we were around, I don't like that political party thing where I would never be a member of any political party structure because I can't countenance nonsense. So I don't want to be there. I speak my mind, and in those kind of situations, people like me don't work well. So I would not be there. So Ella Jada, part of the political structure, and you saw the video, the recorded message between him and the guy and the chairman from Grand Jide saying that Cummings has promised motorbikes and money. Hey, this thing is real. Have I spoken to Ella Jada? Yes, I have. Okay, and this thing is real. It's real. What Cummings is doing is real, bro. And people, and this is not how it's done. It's not done. For people to say that, you think he embarrassed Ure. That letter, those resignations, it's an embarrassment to you politically. Look what they wanted to do in Lofa County. The guy, when he resigned, the guy who was chairman of Lofa, when he resigned, look who United Party formed to put the Galakpa Kotiman, educated, popular, known by his people. They made him acting chair. And the only reason why that man resigns is because he was reached by Ability and Cummings people. Man, this thing is reprehensible. It's not allowed. I'm telling you, you do that thing in other countries, you do it right in Cote d'Ivoire, there will be war. There will be fighting between the political parties. They will come after you. You could lose your life for it. I'm telling you.
Okay, tell me the difference between, according to the folks on the ground, during the by-elections, the elections that went by in 2020 elections, where there was a lot of cash floating in Monrovia all over the country. What's the difference between that and what you are talking about? But we have a lot of cash. Thomas Fala has a lot of cash.
Yeah, but
Dylan had a lot of cash.
yeah,
Everybody had a lot of cash.
the people who voted, they didn't. Let me tell you something. I know that people, motorbike people, put money together. The association put money together and went contributed to Dylan. That is the political view. When you have cash, go spend the amount to get votes. I agree. Do not destabilize other political structures so that you can elevate yours. It's wrong. It's reprehensible. It is not accepted. Listen, go and spend your cash out there. Create your own political structure. Reach out and work with the communities and get votes. Any way you can, we will agree. Do not make a habit of destroying political structures of opposition or your competing parties just for you to gain ground. It's unacceptable, Mr. Gaiman. You can. I don't want us to mix the thing here. Doing that political feud, the CDC, for instance, George Weah gave this guy Thomas Fala whatever he needed to run his campaign in Montserrat County. The guy was flush with cash. Dylan had support. Everybody found ways to get support. That was and Dylan did not go try to recruit seditionists to come. Sedition said, look, we're tired with our party, we'll support you. Motorbike boys said, we voted for Weah. This time around, we are voting for you. We don't want anybody from Unity Party as our senator. That is a different thing altogether. If George Weah, even George Weah doesn't have, even George Weah and CDC doesn't have the wherewithal to say they want to use cash inducements and destabilize other parties directly, they can. They can if they want to do it. But it's not heard of. It's unacceptable. What Cummings is doing, like I would say, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's reprehensible. And then again, to finger, in other words, Liberian people parlance, sometimes I find that word to be a little bit obscene, vulgar, if I was qualify it properly. But I will say this to you: to sign U.S. name on that document just to give it validity. Come on, man. That's criminal. If you did it, it's an allegation.
Remember, this is just an allegation.
Yeah, I agree.
It is not proven. It is not a fact. This is why the process is going to be. I want to believe that the state is going to bring forensic expert to do, I guess, handwriting samples and all of those things to make sure that this is what this is why it is not or why it is, because the experiment or the test is either going to exonerate you, or like we say, you either in or you out. So what I'm saying here is, let us not get carried away by this lawsuit, because like we say in the United States, even a sandwich can be indicted. Anybody can indict anybody. Anybody can accuse anybody. Okay? So let us not be carried away. I know there are those who are now, they are basically calling the Undertaker to come and get Cummings, and he's done. He's dead. He's done. Some people are coming with their pitchforks. He's done. All they have to do is put a fork in his middle, and he's good for dinner. We know this, but let us not get carried away. This is an allegation that has to be proven in the court of law. And if he's found guilty, so be it. But you also have to understand that when he's not found guilty, okay, that may be another springboard to say, I told you so. Yeah. Here I am. They have tried to hold me down, and I'm bouncing all over the place. So let's go to our final piece here.
Before we go there, you think Europe brought this case just on a whim? Hey, I know how Liberia works. My grandfather was Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. I know how Liberia works, right? The first native man from the hinterland to be Associate Justice in the Republic of Liberia, Judge Frederick Tule. let me tell you something. Let's take it forward small. Hey, my uncles were judges. One of them married to my aunt. He was my uncle by marriage. He was judge in the civil law court. Let me say this to you. I went to see him one day after school from CWA. I said, let me go see my uncle today. Sometimes you want extra late cash that. So I said, let me go to the Temple of Justice, go see my uncle today. Today, I prepare myself for it. So I went to the people in court. So I sat in the court and watched the people that were talking about land business. The opposing attorneys, they argue about the law, the merit of the case, and everything. So the Babe called for recess. So he told the council, the opposing the councils to come in his chambers. So I went in the chambers myself. I was standing there. They acted like I wasn't even there. They were having their conversation. The Babe told them how the case was going to proceed. When we go back in court, this is what you will say, and this is what you will counter, and then you will say this, and then you will counter this, and then this will be my ruling, and the case will be over. I stood there watching. I was I was 18 years old. I was in 12th grade that time. CWA, I remember just after the war. I stood there watching, listening to the people they're talking. Then I followed them back into the court, and they did exactly what they had rehearsed in the chambers of the judge. And I shook my head. I said, the people can say our judiciary is corrupt, but this is terrible. And the old lady that was in the court that had brought the case, she was the plaintiff. She didn't get her day in court. She didn't get justice that day. Why am I saying this? I'm only saying to tell you that the justice in Liberia is not blind. It got one eye showing. You can see.
But they this is when I go speak around the country, schools and everything. This is what I tell, especially the minority men. The laws are on the books. Because they are not used doesn't mean that they will not be used. Please do not give them any reason to use the law on you.
Yeah.
Same thing I tell the folks in Liberia. Liberia has my former uncle-in-law, Philip Banks. I used to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And my mentor, Walking Right.
Right.
I would listen to these folks.
Yeah.
Liberia has some of the best laws on the books.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to get you, they can get you, and they will apply the law, and they will be recognized and acceptable around the world because they will go by the book. In several instances, they will gloss over it, and like you say, if you are in a cycle or you knew who, yes, they will gloss around and go around and find a pathway out of that. But when they want to nail you like they did our friend and brother Radley C.
Mm-hmm.
When Chris took him to court for defamation of character. They knew very well, they went by the book, and they found a law within the system that said, yes, you have done irreparable damage to this man's character.
Yeah.
And he was found guilty, I think, given some ridiculous term, 300 years in prison, something of that nature.
Yeah.
The whole world was aghast, but they followed the law. He went to court, he was tried, it was transparent, it was fair, and they found him guilty to the letter. So I am saying to our folks, if you are in politics, if you are in business, consult. When I say consult, I mean consult with credible counsels to tell you that every move you are making, don't say, oh, this is Liberia, we can do whatever we want to do. Yes, you can do that until the power that be wants to go after you. If it is true that Cummings or instructed someone, whatever, to forge someone's signature, it is a major mistake. I got my finger crossed that it is just an allegation, but if that really happened, I spoke to somebody today from one of our major law firm in Monroe just before you come in, and they told me it may be true or not. He said they are hearing around Monroe that Cummings is asking or pleading with Mr. Ure to withdraw the case.
Mr. Gaiman, let me say something to you. He may have done it, or he might not have done it. We don't know. We were not there. But everything about Cummings speaks of desperation, and it points to the fact that yes, in that sense of desperation, he could have forged signatures on that document to get it to go through, fire it with neck so that it become waterclad, because it was part of his strategy, knowing fully well that he did not have the votes. So what do I do to gain the upper hand? I got to use slight. I have to use guise. I have to use guile. I have to do whatever I can do to gain the political mastery here, to gain the upper hand. And that's just exactly what he did, Mr. Gaiman. Well, that is exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead, Len. So we can move to the next segment.
The reason I say it is this, right? Look at this. He did not have the overwhelming support in the CPP. So they put in the CPP that each constituent member of the CPP had the right to go and canvass in the other's camp for votes. Cummings sitting down, knowing fully well that that was his only thing at play, he needed an ironclad documentation to back up his actions, so that in case he's able to gander the amount of support that he needs, and through foul play, real foul play, right? Through the use of cash inducements, what will happen? There will be a disintegration of the CPP. So I'll hold them together by this document that nobody else can leave and then go and run on his original party ticket. That is foul, Mr. Gaiman. Look, this is low down dirty. And I will tell you the reality here. Cummings is going to go through some things, and there's nothing these people can do about it.
But one of the things that I know, I'm not a lawyer, but I've been to court so many times, and I have friends. Once the case have been given to the state, and the state is now in charge, you can no longer go and tell the state to withdraw a case. The state cannot do that. The state can say, when you bring your complaint or you bring your case, they can look at the case in its totality to see whether it has merit, whether it is prosecutable, whether it's winnable. Once that decision is made and those papers have been filed, you cannot go back now and say, I am going to withdraw. If this was like you say, if this was a civil case, yes, if it was a civil case, somebody steal my goat, okay, the guy paid for it. We have settled the case amicably, no harm. But when you are talking about a case of this magnitude, so while we are at this, let's segue into our last piece here. I know all along, you and many folks, Cyrennius Cephus have been the backbone of Liberia. When you're talking about you want to beat up on anybody for anything. In fact, this fabricated videotape of this woman say Cyrennius Cephus kept his job by killing virgin girls and he sacrificed them. Some vile things that nobody would ever believe. And everybody knows him to be this devil, the guy with not just one or two horns, but basically three horns. And he got nose like Pinocchio, and then all of that. He's a boogie guy, scary looking guy based on what people say. At this time, has Cyrennius Cephus finally got his day in court to say, I will teach you a lesson. I will teach you who owns the law, who knows the law, and let's go at it. Now you have been berating me all these years. Finally, I got something. Do you think Cyrennius Cephus has is this time for self-vindication here? Is it time for this man to show his bravado or knowledge of the law here?
You see, no, listen, knowing the law and showing the thing about it is this: the first question we need to ask is the Solicitor General position an independent position?
No, he works for the executive. He works for the executive.
He works for the executive. The Attorney General should be independent, but in the real scope of things, can Merrick Garland say I'm totally independent of the opinion of my boss? Yeah, he has some level, quote unquote, of independence, but is he pursuing his own agenda as the secretary? I mean, as the Attorney General of the United States of America? No. Musa Dean, you say, yeah, he has to have an independence as the chief prosecutor or all of that, right? But you will say Musa Dean is totally independent of the opinion and the mandates of the executive? No. So Cyrennius Cephus does not work for himself. He's an appointee. All right. And so at the end of the day, I said it to you. And you know, one of the things that I love about our show, we speak the reality here. People may not like it, may not be popular with you, but it's the reality. The enemy of my enemy is my what?
Friend.
It's my friend. It's my friend. Cyrennius Cephus has been all over the place. Listen, look at even the case. Cyrennius Cephus, even as the person who's supposed to be working for the government, right? When they took the neck lady to court, Cyrennius Cephus went with Musa ability to Asiko to go and get the criminal parents born for the lady. So you know, there's justice in the world, and Liberia's justice is different. It has always been like this. It's not the same as people wanted to seem. It's not real justice, if you ask me. That's why when these same people who were hailing the court's immediate redirection or reversal of the original sanction against Benedict's convention, and they were hailing it, and I reminded them, I said, you people, I said, time trap now for right alone. I said, we won't even go far, and you people will be crying, and I'll be telling you, no. Let justice take its course. And today we are saying the same thing. Cyrennius Cephus is not independent. Cyrennius Cephus is not his own man. Cyrennius Cephus will shout to the highest bidder. If Musa Bidder carry money, he will buy. But guess what? In this case, one of the unmentioned plaintiffs in this case is CDC. CDC not on the docket. CDC not on the paperwork. But CDC part of the case. Because even though initially they presumed to support Cummings, because the dissolution or the disaffection of the CPP support was in their favor, they now realize that Cummings is a reckless freight train that is wrecking opposition political parties or corresponding political parties, and he's going to come after them, the ruling party. So they woke up to the reality, and they're not going to take it sitting down. Look, so even though they're not on the paper, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Cummings is going to go through some things. And Ure knew this. Is Ure working for the government? No. But when you and I have parallel interest, we will join forces and we'll see the thing through to the logical conclusion. Cummings, that is foul, reckless political play of going and causing disruption in opposition political or other political parties is not going to be countenanced by the ruling party. And Ure is the man that stands up because he has cash. If the any Liberian that got independent money in that Ure has his own money, whether he stole it or he sold arm or whatever, that one of your business, you can have that conversation. The fact is that boy is chairman of Lone Star Cell, MTN, Liberia MTN. He's the chair of that place. He has money. And as a result, consequently, he also in business there. He and friend build buildings. The guy from Afropa, they got money. What he need? The guy, the Liberian Lebanese guy, man.
And he has a farming too, right? Isn't he? Yeah, I heard now that he's now into he has ventured into coffee and cocoa and all that. but you know, I would like to push back on the government being indirectly on the docket here. The government doesn't have to do anything. The CDC, not the government, excuse me, the CDC. The CDC party, the party doesn't have to do anything. If I'm at a party and we have three guys fighting over a pretty girl, and the two guys are fighting, and I'm sitting here sipping my whatever with this young lady. In fact, let the pretty guys go ahead fight themselves and let somebody bust their eye and somebody be deformed. You know, that's something that you want, you know. So this is what we are talking about here. CDC is sitting back and seeing this fight because they knew from day one that they either do one thing. Only one thing they have to do. They have to mimic what the CDC did, which is from the beginning, 2005, actually late 2004, 2005, they made it clear George Weah is going to be the standard bearer and everybody else will follow. Take it or leave it. And those who came on board followed, they took it. Anybody who wants and be reminded, it is the only successful coalition in the history of the Republic of Liberia to make it to the top to win the president. All other coalitions have failed.
Yeah, okay, we agree to that. They won the presidency, huh?
I saw an article on Front Page Africa that says the purported breakaway party are trying to form a new coalition. And that coalition will mimic the CDC. They will make it clear from the beginning, Boyka is our man, everybody else should follow.
Yeah, because listen, you want to stall. Look, just imagine if Charles Bromskin was alive. What kind of confusion was going to be available in the CPP? With Bromskin strong, wanting to be president, Boyka strong, wanting to be president, Ure, and then Cummings. So who was going to support who? That's the reason why they agree that they could canvass in each other's party for votes. Now, canvassing each other parties for votes, they didn't put any restrictions around those canvassing. Okay? Now, like you said, the CDC has been a beneficiary of the confusion within the CPP. Okay? Because the lack of any cohesion, the lack of any strength coming out of any arrangement benefits the CDC.
Not to cut you off, the CDC is doing the best they can to bring peace among you guys by taking this case to court and being very.
No. They didn't take the case to court. Don't you see?
Excuse me. The government is taking this case to court and trying to bring peace. So CDC is actually helping you guys to stay. You see, you don't want to give CDC credit because you guys are killing yourself, and the CDC government through the legal system coming in and saying, "Listen, guys, let peace prevail." You know, we are part of peace.
Can we establish the dichotomy? Can we establish the dichotomy between the CDC and the government of Liberia?
We do have a huge.
Yeah. Yes. The CDC is the party in power, but they are not the government of Liberia.
That's correct.
The CDC appointed the government, the CDC-led government appointed people to various positions.
Independent people, that's correct.
Not all of the independent, because Cyrennius Cephus that you mentioned,
very independent.
He's not independent at all. He came from within the CDC camp, from under the Sycamore tree. Today, he's a Solicitor General of Liberia. The CDC is not happy. It's not going to promote peace within the CPP. Don't mislead our.
Oh, we're doing that. Don't do that. We're doing that.
Okay, the CDC will not promote peace within the CPP. Never. If they were doing that, they would have had peace. They will have press conferences and say, "Hey, we want to employ our opposition members to tune down their rhetoric and find ways to amalgamate and stop the fuss." They've never done it. So the dysfunctionality within the CPP helps the CDC. What has happened is, during all these times of confusion, Nobody is able to cast their eyes on the violence, the lack of the malfeasance that is happening within the government. It has everybody, we all bickering and we forgetting about the government. So the government is going to the bank on this issue free. So it's not that the government is for me, like I said, the government did not have to go to URE and say bring this case. URE got angry that ANC was brave. And guess what? The funny thing about it is this: when those guys, the people from Europe Party, when they signed that document, you know who started broadcasting it? The ANC people. So Europe brought his case, and the government sat down. Because like I told you, I spoke with people from within the government. They sat down and said, "Hey, the next landing spot for Cummings and his people, that also." Because when they finish with the opposition, they're coming after us because that's his play. That's the reason why Ambrose, I'm saying, Achimo rather, is a reckless freight train. It's a train that has cash and it's a train that has no ideological boundaries. All right. It's reckless. They coming stream. So they're coming after the government. And the government will allow this case to go to the logical conclusion because what Cummings has put into play is unheard of, is unacceptable in political party activities across West Africa. I'm saying this to tell you something. If NDP or any of the parties in Ghana try to do this, there will be violence. Trust me, there will be serious violence. Now, you don't have violence in Liberia. Thank God we are different. But in other countries, if you did this, if you went and you're asking me, someone from my party that I know personally, because I encouraged him to come to my party, the Liberty Party, he was on record telling somebody that he wanted support from to come to a convention or a meeting because Cummings had promised to give them motorbikes and cash. The records are there. This is the play that Cummings have gone through. I have had people we know, people who have benefited. We know how much they have benefited. Do we have proof? We don't have proof. So right now we are stating it as an opinion. You can take it or you can leave it. But we know that Cummings' recklessness of going and subverting political actors and operators in other parties to benefit his ANC is reprehensible, is reckless, and he will go through some things. And there's nothing that you can do about it.
Okay, now let's segue real quick. I know we're running out of time here. We're sorry. I don't know if our technical folks are back for us to read some of the comments, and they were called. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is one time where I see my brother here is so afraid, but at the same time you are smiling because Cyrennius Cephus is doing something that you have always wanted to do, but you couldn't do, which was to attack Cummings and bring him down. And Cyrennius is doing it.
Attack nobody. Look,
listen, Mr. Tule, I have never seen you smile on this show like you're smiling today with this particular topic.
No. So let me tell you something. For me, Cyrennius Cephus is one of the most reprehensible individuals to ever operate in Liberia. That guy.
That's the point. The point here is he's doing your dirty work.
Hold on now. The man is so
smiling.
Corrupt.
You're smiling.
Hey, hold on, big brother. The man is so corrupt. He ain't even got side. Whoever brings the money and whoever can meet him at his point, that the person he will support. I am not a Cyrennius Cephus supporter, but I'll tell you something. In this situation, what makes me laugh is just few months ago, I think 2 months ago or less than 2 months ago, I was telling the ANC people when they were happy that the court ruled, and after Liberty Party went and got a prohibition, a stay order on the Ability Convention in Miba County, they were celebrating it here. That
Mr. Tule?
Yeah, well, hold on.
May I interrupt you? You said
no,
that
you will
earlier.
interrupt. You can't. They were celebrating it here. And I told them, I said, listen, the justice system that you are allowed in today, do not come tomorrow to say that justice system is working in a unfair and impartial way. Not impartial. In an unfair, impartial way. Now they are saying it today. as much as I don't agree with Serena Cephus, I'm silent on this.
And Mr. Tudor, this is what I want to know. Throughout the discussion here, you said what Cummings has done. You are accusing of Mr. Cummings of using cash violence to destabilize other parties. I think you mentioned your party, Liberty Party, right? Mm-hmm. And that's an allegation, that's an accusation, and you said that which he's doing, when you do it in other countries, it brings serious conflict. So give us some examples of countries where a political actor is using whatever they have to their advantage, be it cash or political capital, has brought about violence. Give us an example.
Nigeria, for instance. If you even into a point, if you go in the next man's stronghold, where they say this guy stronghold at Nikuta, sometimes it's even a no-go area for people from opposition party to go into that particular zone to go canvass for votes.
Right.
Yeah, because they stay at the intersection, the junction coming into the place. If you want to go out, because I live in Nigeria for 5 years, so one of my points of reference is Nigeria. I know fully well that the APP and the PDP and those big political parties, I know they use cash and stuff like that, but bro, there are unwritten rules they don't mess around with. I've never seen any party make it their business, the PDP, make it their business to go into opposition party to go and canvass for members within the political structure of those parties. Okay, so, I know they got money. I know there's a lot of money in Nigeria and all of that. But what I'm saying is, if there are zones that they have burned buses and killed people in those for going into those areas to go, like for instance, in the local municipalities, what they call local governments, where they do these council votes, councillors, representatives from the local government, they are burning people up in cars for going into these communities to go and canvass for votes. Just imagine what would they do if they found out that you were trying to use money, even in the local structure, to bribe people to leave their political party and come to yours. It won't go down well. I'm telling you.
And Tule, when you say it will not go down well with some people, of course, it will not be something pleasing to the side, because they will feel like that influence, that financial influence that person is trying to use will sway some people, that person away from them.
Yeah.
But to equate it to violence, when we all know that in politics, people use money, all of the time. And all of the time,
show me one place. Let me switch it to you now. Show me one place you've seen in modern political history. I'm not talking about the voting populace out there. I'm talking about political structures, chairmen of local boards, local political boards and stuff like that, where it is even alleged that you as a political leader are trying not even.
And then I ask the question, which law says that if it is wrong, if what you are saying is true that Cummings is doing that, let us point to the law that says that, Lord, it is wrong for the leader or another political party to pump money into political party, to disintegrate those political parties for their political benefit. What law says that is even wrong?
Let me tell you something. Everything in life is not in black and white. I said it here. It's not there are no laws regarding that. Okay. There are no laws to tell anybody not to go into a particular neighborhood.
And do you not see that as politics?
Hold on. There are no laws that say that somebody cannot go into any neighborhood they want to go to in a nation to go canvass for votes. There are no laws. But people will tell you, say that PDP stronghold there, no need for us to go there. Because when we go there, we know what will happen. There will be violence. They will disrupt.
What does the law of the land say about that? That you shouldn't go there or you should go there? Because according to our constitution, we are all free to go everywhere.
Thank you. So go take your banner, put it on buses. I am telling you, right in Lagos. I say different places. Right in Lagos, Nigeria.
So then who will be wrong?
Nobody will be
in the eyes of the law. Who will be wrong?
When you
will be stopping me from coming in a territory that is for the all of us as citizens. You will stopping me. You will be wrong, right?
You know the funny thing about this? The funny thing about this is this: when the PDP is in power and you are the opposition and you infringe on their territory, There are places that they themselves know that they can't come even to opposition stronghold. They will not even try to go there.
And Tule, you know that is wrong, right? That is unconstitutional.
We're not talking about constitutionality of issues here.
That's why I said also is wrong.
Hold on. We're not talking about the constitutionality of issues here. Politically, it's wrong for you to start using inducements to get the political actors of other parties. Is wrong.
What is your reliance of that wrong? On what basis is the person wrong?
Because it's not acceptable politically. It's on a written rule. There are morals. There are values that we live by.
I don't see what moral code that it actually violates at all.
Oh, it violates everything. It violates
what moral code is that?
Guess what? It violates the sanctity of another political party. I'll ask you a question. Show me one country that you have seen that political actors go after to operate in other parties. Okay, go to use cash inducement.
Tule.
I'm asking you.
Let me pull it this way.
Don't run.
Tule, let me pull it this way.
Hey, no.
We are saying the same thing.
Tule.
We're not saying the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Here we have, and we discussed this early. Every political party or every individual, every candidate have their strength, right? Okay. Cummings' strength is organizational structure and resources. What's wrong with he using his strength? Because there are times where Mr. Honorable Boykai had used tribalism as
you asked him the question earlier, right? And you asked today the question earlier. All he had to tell you was it's reprehensible. It's reprehensible. That's the only answer he has. And I was shaking my head. I said that was a good question to pick his brain, right? So let me pull it to Tule this way.
What question?
Let me pull it to Tule this way, Mr. Tule. And Mr. Gibman, I want to say hands up because it's a great question to really broaden the discussion. You are fighting. What you have is a stake. Another man has a knife. Another man has maybe a bow in his hand. What you have in your hand is what you will use. If Cummings is using money in these political institutions, will you not blame the members in those political institutions who have shown oath to their political institutions' constitution to abide and protect and defend, who accept the cash if there is anything true?
They didn't swear any oath.
Okay, if they don't swear anything, the fact that they are members of the parties,
that's
if
correct.
they accept the money and do against their political party, will you not blame them? You will blame Cummings, who is fighting to get ahead?
Yes, I'll blame Cummings. And you ask your question.
But
okay. Y'all give me a chance to talk. Or
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to just keep quiet, let you talk.
No, go ahead.
I feel like he keep quiet. He are talking alone. Mr. Gibman, let me come to you.
I have lived in a lot of African countries, and I've seen how elections are done. I'll tell you something. What Cummings is doing in Liberia is unacceptable.
I mean, it's the same thing. Unacceptable, reprehensible.
It's unacceptable. I told you in life, it's not everything that is a written rule, but there are certain values and standards are accepted, and when you violate those things, there are action and consequences that you will experience. Typical example, what Cummings is going through right now. I'll tell you something. Benedict Cummings was never going to bring a case against Cummings. Ever since Benedict Cummings knew that Cummings forged his signature.
It's an allegation, though.
Yeah, I agree. Ever since he knew that Cummings forged his signature.
You are saying it as though that has been proven. But
whether it's been proven or not, we will see. Ever since Cummings filed the paper with NEC, ever since a long time ago, Ben knew if there were any forgery issue, it didn't just come to the fore right now with him. Now he's just knowing it. Why is Ben taking this action now? The embarrassment he experienced by those people signing, a document, and then ANC people releasing it all over the social media. All right, it was an embarrassment for Ben. So guess what? He's fighting back. What I'm saying to you is this: Cummings, like Mr. Gibman said, Cummings using what he thinks he has, and that's cash, right? Cash inducement. So wait, hold on.
Mr. Tule, you said that thing over and over. I've been listening to the show. It's the same thing you're going to say.
Hey, my man, give me a chance.
You have talked for all the time now.
Cummings is using what he thinks he has to cause disruption in the political landscape, and that is his play. And let me tell you something. There are certain things that you would do in the political landscape, you will receive pushback. And this is the
Mr. Tule, is Mr. Ure doing everything right here? Is Mr. Walker doing everything right here?
Of course. What wrong are they doing? What wrong?
So, is Mr. Ure, who has taken this case to court.
Of course.
All right. And this is Mr. Walker, who sees two persons fighting each other, that he knows it will benefit him. And so he sits by. And in fact, there are reason to believe that he has acquiesced Mr. Ure.
Oh, an allegation. It's an allegation. It's
granted. Granted. Because here's the deal, right, Mr. Tule? We all know Mr. Ure is supporting Mr. Walker. Do we agree?
It has no basis.
That's correct.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but
so whatever Ure does is for the benefit of Walker in the political fight.
Not himself.
I will agree himself, but it benefits Walker. If Walker does not benefit, Ure does not benefit.
So what is your argument here? Let me ask you.
My argument here is that Mr. Ure is fighting with what he has for his side to win, for him to benefit. It is an equivalence of why you are accusing Cummings that he's fighting.
It is not. You are mixing.
It is.
No way.
And like here, Mr. Gilman. Mr. Gilman, what do you make of that?
No.
Listen, I made this clear. It is the exact equivalent. If, like you say, if you and I in a fight,
it's not.
Okay, it is.
No.
Okay, you have the big.
You're mixing apples and oranges.
No, they're not.
Mr. Gilman Flow.
Cummings have always made it clear his strength has been organization, structure, and resources. Everybody knows that. He's a structure guy. He's been into corporate America. He knows how to do these things, and he has the resources to back it up. Walker says, I am the traditional person, I'm the elderly guy, and I have wisdom. That's his claim to fame, and he uses that to his advantage. Ure says, I'm the guy from the Masonic, and I have my resources, and I'm going to do all I can to make sure ABC do this. That's fine. And he's hoping to be the running mate to Joseph Boykai. So by him doing all he can to take down Cummings, it's not only benefiting him, but it's also benefiting his beneficiary, which is Joseph Boykai. So it is the equivalent. I don't
think it will also benefit who? It will also benefit
but guess what? We are running out of time.
Answer the question. Who else will benefit again?
We are running out of time.
Who else does this case benefit?
The next show is in 10 minutes.
Yeah. You will get to the show. Who else will also benefit? This case. If it goes
this case?
Yeah.
Well, this case
benefit Boykai and Ure.
It's benefiting the CDC.
Wait, my man, you're not you. You are interloper here as far as I'm concerned.
Listen, CDC have no fight in this case. We had no fight.
Oh, you see? Let me tell you something.
As a coalition, we beat you, and we fracture, we beat you.
Can I say something quick to you, Mr.
Yes.
We need to close.
Listen, Mr. Gilman. Yeah. This is where you and I always fall because your appreciation for truth and reality is sometimes very, 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 very
good.
We
close?
In this situation here, in this particular situation here, I told you that even though the CDC is not on the charge sheet as one of the complainants, but let me be honest with you, the CDC benefits greatly from whatever comes out of this. And let me say this to you again, you Anthony. And not everything in life is written down in black and white. But guess what? Integrity says run your campaign based on ideology. Don't go sowing chaos in order to and then expect nothing. Expect that there will be no pushback. There will be pushback. You know why there won't be any pushback in Liberia? When you build your own political team and you run your campaign based on your strength, there will be no pushback. But when you start to create and sow chaos and in other people's party so that you can build your fame, then there will be pushback. So the reason why he's experiencing what he's going through is because of what he's doing that is wrong. Is it written? No. Is it against the Constitution for you to use cash inducement? No. But guess what? Bribery is against the law. bribery.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We had no time to do the comments on the show and the calls. Next Sunday, we promise you we'll get to it early. Anthony and the CEO, the new year, I can see is going to be vibrant and an understanding. We appreciate your hard work. And until then, we say we are leaving you with our song that says, we are all Liberian no matter what. You are opposition, imposition. We are all one. Same people, same birth line, same bloodline. God bless. See you Sunday, same time.
Gentlemen, thank you. I enjoyed the discussion. It was spirited. It was opinionated. And I know this is our opinionated show, and it's a good thing. Somebody wrote in the comment box, see, the other day you are doing a show, you say Yure was right. I maintain that Yure was right to go to court. That is the right thing to do. The thing the folks don't understand is those who ask questions, we got to ask the question this way on this side and the other side. You know, they get confused with that. My job is to ask questions from this side and this side. But when the question comes from this side, they say, oh, the man on this side. Please don't see it that way. That is our work. Mr. Tule, excellent prosecution of Mr. Cummings. I wish you were to prosecute Benedict Cummings for who he is. And I wish you were to persecute Joseph Waka for who he is. And I wish you could prosecute Jovia for who he is, just as I persecute all of them. Folks in cyberspace, this is how we will draw down the curtains with the sun. As Mr. Gibbons said, we are all Liberian. The other show is coming on next. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.